What's up, guys, and welcome to my review for Ferrari. This is directed by Michael Mann and stars Adam Driver as Enzo Ferrari. And this takes place in a time period of his life where his business is in danger, his family life is in danger, and his mental stability, I think, is also in danger. Penelope Cruz plays his wife, and Shailene Woodley plays his mistress, who he also has a kid with. This movie is a film that, kind of disappeared, kind of came in to theaters late December and disappeared. It's available on video on demand now. You could buy it on Vudu, and I had planned to watch it. Look, this came out on Digital Tuesday, the same day the Oscar nominations came out. Some thought that this might get in there for the sound. I think the strongest place that it could have got in was for sound, and especially after seeing the film, I think that this could have certainly got in for that sound nomination. Didn't get any Oscar nominations. Penelope Cruz did get in for the SAG. Okay, look, Penelope Cruz in this film, if we're talking about her first, she's like the heart of the film. She is the one that has to sort of deal with the whole thing, and she's sort of taking the phone calls, and she's dealing with some stuff with the business, and she's the co-owner, and she's kind of picking up the pieces. Adam Driver in this film is great. He's, giving a very stoic performance. This is a performance that I think is multi-layered because you can tell that deep within this guy, there's something going on. Earlier in the film, he's mourning his son. I believe he's lost his son. I thought it was his brother at first, but then as the film goes on, you realize that they lost his son. So that was pretty tragic. And he's having these emotional beats within the first 15 minutes of the film that make you kind of say, okay, I kind of get this character. This is a guy who I think, when he's dealing with the stuff with the fast cars and all that sort of thing, I think he uses that as a as sort of a distraction, from his normal life and his family life and his everyday life. Even though he's got a wife and a mistress, I feel like that when he's dealing with the the cars and the races and stuff like that, that's where he's most tuned in. That's where he's most locked in, and I think he's sort of not given up on his home life, but he's put it on the back burner in many senses. That's how I kind of felt watching it. And Adam Driver did a great job, portraying that. Michael Mann, I think, directed the film well, even though there's some things with like the screenplay and some of the directing choices that were a little questionable. Earlier in the film, someone comes up to him and he says, "Hey, I'm looking for a job. I want to drive for you." And basically, he's like, "Oh, we're not in need of a driver right now." 2 seconds later, the driver gets into a crash and dies, and then he's like, "Okay, come meet me at my office on Monday." So it was kind of like, well, that was a little predictable how that was set up. But there's a couple instances in the film like that, like why did that happen? Why did she do that? Why did he say that? Just kind of nitpicks stuff in there. But the movie is kind of boring at the same time. I think this is an interesting story, but I just don't think that the screenplay or the direction, quite frankly, were strong enough to make it as entertaining as maybe it should have been. This movie is a little over 2 hours long, and you feel it. You feel every minute of that runtime. Even though I think that some of the car stuff, a lot of the car stuff, is really well done. The crashes, the sound, like I mentioned, could have gotten a sound nomination at the Oscars. Very good sound, and the cinematography as well. This movie does look great, and I do like a lot of aspects of it. It's just like overall, as a package, as a whole film, leaving it, you just kind of go, yeah, it was a little long, and in the end of the day, probably a little forgettable. So I did like it, but I didn't love it, and I'm kind of indifferent to it at the same time. If I never watch it again, I'll be okay with it. But yeah, so in the end of the day, Ferrari is a 3 out of 5 star film for me. And it's a film that, look, can I recommend it to you guys? If you like wanted to see this movie, I'd say, yeah, sure, watch it. But if you're like just a casual moviegoer and you want something to watch, there's other films that you could see over Ferrari. It's not a great film, but it's not a bad film either. So that's where I'm at with that, guys. Comment down below. Did you see it? What'd you think about it? Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. A bunch of reviews coming in the future. We got the first official 2024 new release film, Night Swim. We'll be doing a review for that pretty soon. A bunch of other films as well. Top 10 best movies of 2023 list is around the corner. I'll be posting that within the month. Just got a couple more things that I want to see to have contention to put onto that list. So, guys, you can follow me on Twitter and or X at RyanKing72 and Instagram and TikTok at KingRRises131. And that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching my review for Ferrari. And until next time, over and out.